A fun way to practice talking to sellers. Sometimes, like anything and pretty much everything, we need a little practice, right? So one fun way to talk to motivated home sellers or just home sellers, especially in the beginning, is to dip our toe in the water in a comfortable, relaxed, actually fun kind of way. So let me share a story with you. One thing that my wonderful wife does is she compiles listings of Zillow properties in areas that we like. So some of them are in Hawaii, other ones are in different beautiful areas in the country. Some of them are even in towns that are used in Hallmark movies. You know the ones, they're really charming. They've got that old downtown area where people are walking and the buildings look beautiful. So then we'll grab a cup of coffee, sit on the couch, she'll have her laptop, and we'll just look at these properties. Every once in a while, I'll pick up the phone and I will actually call one of these sellers because I'm interested in their house. So it's a very fun, relaxed way to be getting more familiar with some of the data that's out there for free. Zillow compiles a tremendous amount of really good information. And also, you can be finding for sale by owners. And that way, when you find properties that you like that are for sale by owner, you can just call them up because they want you to call them up. It's not something that you have to be nervous about. It's not something that you have to think, I've got to get this deal. You just want to start the conversation because that's why, as my door mysteriously opens because my dog just came in the room, that is why they've got the listing up there to begin with. If we put ourselves in the seller's shoes, the seller of anything, they just want somebody who's interested in what it is they're selling, right? You probably tried to sell something. We want a buyer. So when that phone rings, they are then probably grateful that somebody's interested in what they have to offer. So that takes the pressure off of us from the standpoint of, should I be nervous to talk to this person? No, they want to talk to us. They need to talk to us. They are raising their hand saying, hey, anybody interested in this? I want to talk to you, right? I mean, they might not really want to talk because they've got stuff going on in their world, but they've got a problem and they need to move on with their life. And that starts with finding a buyer for the property. So as far as this fun exercise, you might be talking to people that are not motivated, and that's okay because you just want to start getting more familiar talking to people. Now, if you're already comfortable talking to sellers and talking to people, well, you're ahead of the game because a lot of times, especially in the beginning, people feel a little uncomfortable. That is totally normal. And in this particular scenario, we're just having fun. When I talk to people, when I'm negotiating with people for anything or just trying to get information, I do it in a relaxed, friendly way, and I just ask questions. And of course, their answers then lead to more questions so I can go dig down deeper and deeper and find out what's going on. So as you are looking on Zillow at properties that are fun to look at and you're calling up a for sale by owner, you can be asking them to tell you about the property. Sit back and listen. That is what their go-to move is. They want to tell somebody about their property. Take a deep breath as they're talking, ask questions, reply accordingly, start to build that rapport because we are practicing building the rapport so then we can pivot and start asking more questions. And when we've got that rapport, the seller's going to feel a little more comfortable knowing that, this is a person that is actually interested, they're listening, they're asking questions. This is a huge situation in their life. So for somebody to be calling up and asking questions and just listening, being friendly, that's a good thing for them. That then builds that rapport, starts that relationship, and then you start to ask more questions. Why are you selling the house? How soon do you have to get this sold by? What are you going to do if you can't sell it within that time frame? You're just asking questions. At that point, you might have somebody say, well, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. They might say, I've got to get it sold. Hey, you found somebody who's motivated. At that point, you're just calling somebody. You're not sure exactly why, but you can follow up with more questions at that point. But really, what this video is all about is a fun way to start practicing talking to sellers. You're not necessarily, for this hypothetical scenario, trying to find a deal. You're just trying to get more comfortable talking to sellers. If a deal then shows up because of that, fine. But it's not the objective at this point. You're just trying to get comfortable. It's kind of like paper trading a stock where you say, okay, I'm not going to put any money into this stock. I'm just going to write down what the price is each day, and I'm going to follow that stock price. And then if there was a point where I'd buy that, I'm going to write that down, and you're just paper trading. And then if it goes up, you say, well, if I had bought it, I'm going to sell it at this point. And it hits that point and say, okay, I would have sold it. You have no risk. You have no money invested. You are paper trading. You're practicing. And that's all this is. You're just getting more comfortable practicing talking to sellers. If somebody's motivated, great. If not, that's okay. When the conversation is over and you ultimately get off the phone, sit back, reach around, and pat yourself on the back. You did good. You lived through it. It was actually not too bad, and in some cases, it might have actually been pleasurable. The person might have been friendly, open with their answers, and you got off the phone thinking, I can do this again. I'm going to do this again, and then just find the next property that's a for sale by owner that you feel like picking up the phone and just starting this over again. Like I said, the analogy, paper trading stocks, you're not trying to buy a house at this point. You're just practicing. If a deal exposes itself because of the questions you're asking and these people truly are motivated, well, then you can shift into investor mode. But for this conversation, you're just getting comfortable. You're just realizing that these are people on the other end of the line. They're just trying to sell a house. You're asking some questions. You're being friendly. You're practicing rapport building. You're practicing getting information. You're getting off the phone and you're feeling good that you did it. So often we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because we want to get a deal. Nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly normal, particularly when we're building a business that's based on real estate deals. But in the beginning, until you get more comfortable, it's okay just to practice and talk to people that aren't necessarily motivated so you get more comfortable when you do shift gears and you're uncovering people with many levels of motivation. So then, as a reference, you can say, you know what? I know I can call these people up. I know I can be friendly. I know I can build rapport. I know I can ask questions, and I know that I can help these people. That's what this video is about. A fun way to practice talking to home sellers using Zillow and finding listings that are fun to look through at the same time. I hope this helps. I'll share more with you on the next video.